Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of the Nerdpocalypse Podcast. I'm your host, Jay. I'm here with my co-host, Terrence.
What's up?
Holy shit. Terrence is back.
The myth, the legend.
Yeah, look, Terrence sent me a note 6 months ago. He was like, I'm not coming back until that asshole's off the show. And and now that Micah's not here, Terrence has finally returned. He's been waiting. It's really weird, but he's been pretty adamant about it.
Terrence only comes back whenever Micah has a kid.
Yeah, exactly. When he goes on paternity leave, I will return. Yeah. So Terrence is back, and Mark is back this week. So Mark, welcome back. Terrence, welcome back. I think it's been a year. It's been largely about a year.
Yeah, because what's today? Today is the
July 7th?
July?
Yeah.
It's been a while. It's been quite a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. But you're back. Like this is not a guest spot for you. Terrence is back. So look forward to his shining face and his shenanigans this episode. I'm really hoping, I haven't read your what the fuck story, but I'm really hoping it's something to piss you off. So, to just kind of like welcome you back. Something about shoving something in someone's penis, probably.
That was mine. Those were mine. Yeah, fucking.
Yeah. Did you forget? JTD didn't forget. He's been waiting. He's been storing up stories.
He's got like a file of just like all these what the fuck stories for you.
When Terrence returns, I'm gonna fuck him up. There you go. So Mark, of course, is back. He was here last week. Mark from the Real Appeal podcast. So I'll let you do your spiel again here. Go for it.
Oh, yeah. So for anybody who wasn't listening to last week's show, I do a podcast with my creative partner, Kelsey Loisel, called the Real Appeal Podcast, where we review new movies and then compare them to old classic movies and see if they still hold up. And the way we work with this is that my friend did not grow up in the pop culture zeitgeist, so she has no nostalgia connection to like anything, So it's like watching everything with fresh eyes and her being realistic. Like, no, this movie's problematic, or no, this movie actually sucks.
Right? Yeah,
every movie is problematic, right?
Anything from all of them, but definitely anything from the 1980s.
A lot of John Hughes films, like 16 Candles, really problematic, that one.
Yeah. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I feel like The Breakfast Club is not exempt from that either. Like, it's not.
I like that.
Yeah, but I've turned her around. She loves The Evil Dead. She loves I think it's called like Repo Man, Emilio Estevez movie. She loves like some like she loves Flash Gordon. She loves like this kind of like weird.
Okay.
I mean, well, ironically, you mentioned Flash Gordon because I saw Thor: Love and Thunder, which feels like it has that kind of feel to it. I'm not going to get into it this week, but. There is a review in our Coming Distractions podcast feed. You can also find that review on YouTube, youtube.com/the Nerdpocalypse. It is it's a spoiler-free review. I don't know if we'll do a spoiler review of it. Maybe. But you can check that out. Obviously, it's the fourth Thor movie and the 29th film in the MCU. I had to look that up. I was like, Jesus Christ, that's insane.
Jesus.
So yeah, shout out to Black Panther. It'll be number 30, which is just crazy. So that is up there. But let's get right into Mark, you've been watching I'm gonna move these things around a little bit. You've been watching Irma Vep or Irma Vep?
Yeah. So Irma Vep is this it's a show on HBO Max right now, and it's pretty much about this actress and a couple other people during this production of like this like classic like 1920s horror film. But I'm getting like this vibe of what's the movie with Natalie Portman, Darren Aronofsky, Black Swan.
Black Swan, yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of getting like a Black Swan, but a little bit of comedy in there. So it's pretty interesting. The lead actress is what is her name? I think it's like Alicia Vikander. She was in. She was in. Yeah, she was in like Tomb Raider. Like I think in the Tomb Raider, the new Tomb Raider movie.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I believe that's the same actress. But like I said, I've only gotten like one episode in, but there's like levels of like I said, comedy and intriguement and like this weird kind of like vibe. Maybe because it's like set in a European country or some shit like that. That kind of gives like this weird kind of like culture change kind of thing.
Sure.
So yeah, that's one of the things I've been watching, which I think is actually not too bad. I think it's pretty good.
It's on HBO Max, you said, right?
Yeah, it's on HBO Max. I think they release a new episode every week, and I think they're like on 8 episodes already. But like I've just heard about it, and it got like a lot of rave reviews from like Variety, Deadline, and all that kind of stuff. So I was like, all right, let's see what this is about.
All right.
And then also I checked out because the actor James Caan died today. Yeah. That got me the urge to rewatch his Michael Mann collaboration called Thief.
Yeah.
Which is James Caan pretty much being like an ace thief. Like he's a safecracker, but he's just such an asshole in this movie.
That's HBO Max as well, if I recall. Right?
No, that's the thing. It used to be on HBO Max, but now it's you have to watch it like on Tubi now or some shit. Like they just took it. Yeah,
Look,
they just took it.
Tubi, goddammit. There's a lot of good shit.
That's just random shit.
I'm dead serious. It really is.
No, that's the thing. Tubi's been having a lot of great stuff. It's just they have commercials at the wrongest times. It's like a pivotal moment, and then you'll just see an ad for like Instacart or some shit like that. So yeah, one of the reasons why I think it's so great is because it's like everybody remembers James Caan from like The Godfather and like other movies, but this one, James Caan has said in the past like this is like his second favorite film behind The Godfather, and that he actually had to learn how to crack safes like for real to like really get into the character and stuff like that. But there are a number of times, like I said, where James Caan is being like a serious asshole that I could swear he's like improvising most of the stuff.
I mean, here's the thing. Like, I think James Caan died at 82, right? Yeah. James Caan is, a tremendous actor. Like, he was. I cannot say the same for his son, Scott Caan. Sorry, that guy sucks. But, yeah, sorry for your loss. Hawaii 5-0. Hawaii 5-0.
Yeah.
Not good.
I've seen one episode of the show.
Yeah, that was probably enough. But, you know.
Ocean's 11 movies, right?
Yes, he was. Yeah, he was like one of the like. Yeah, he didn't have a lot to do there, and he had a lot of people lifting his ass up, like like a lot.
Casey Affleck's carrying like every scene with him.
Yeah, right, because they were brothers or something. Right?
Team, right.
But look, I think James Caan is like he was. I mean, this is like wow, what an opinion. James Caan was an amazing actor, right? But like I feel like that whole idea of him being an asshole, I agree with you. Like I think that's kind of how he played most of his roles. Like he was never, and I feel like it's part of who he is, right? He's just like, I'm going to be a bit of a prick. And like, but it's what's kind of endearing about him in those roles. Like I read today, interestingly enough, that his line, a line that he does in Godfather where he says bada bing, like he completely improvised that. Like he just made that shit up and it just like became this iconic moment. But like, dude just had like a bravado and a swagger to him that was just kind of timeless, which is like it's sad to see him that he died, but he was also 82, so he like lived a pretty good fucking life.
Yeah. And this movie, like I said, he's acting like an asshole in most of the movie, but he's kind of doing it, and he's doing it in a justifiable way that still is cool. I mean, because it also has like that Michael Mann flair to it. You know, Michael Mann, the dude behind, like Heat and like even behind Miami Vice and stuff like that.
Yeah, and Tokyo Vice, if you haven't watched that yet.
Oh yeah, that's right. He did do Tokyo Vice. But yeah, if anybody can see, if you folks can like check out Thief, I think I highly recommend it. It's a really great movie.
All right, there you go. Get
It's on Pluto TV also.
these are the worst channels you could find it on. Great movie, terrible channels.
Yeah, because it was on. I don't know. It was on Prime Video like last week.
Right. I was gonna say, like, I'm pretty sure I put it in my list of things to like go back and watch on HBO Max recently. They're like, nah, go to Tubi. I'm like, all right, well, I'm probably not.
And the Roku channel also.
Oh,
those are the things that you can. I have Roku TV.
I
can do commercials. I'm not.
Roku TV doesn't bother me. Like, I'm quite literally. Roku TV is pretty good.
Is it the name?
I think it's the name. Like, I feel like there's a stigma with Tubi, which is fucked up.
Funny about Roku TV, they picked up all of the what is that? The shit that died.
Oh, the really short,
Quigley or Quibbly or
Quibi.
Yeah, they picked up all of the Quibi content, and they still air it in its original format. So it's like 9-minute episodes.
So that's stupid.
I'm like, why would you do that? But
yeah, okay, that never made sense. Although, like, I should, because I have Roku, like, little behind the camera sort of thing is I'm looking at a DSLR, but I'm watching back, like, the screen I'm seeing is a smart TV, right? And it's a Roku fucking built TV. It was the cheapest HD TV I could find because I was like, I'm not spending real money on this. But like, yeah, like the Roku channel's fine. Like, whatever, they have decent movies on there. Like, they don't make the movies, so what the fuck do I care? They're free.
Neither does Tubi.
Yeah, again, Roku TV is fine.
You're gonna have a Roku versus Tubi debate here.
Yeah, the worst debate ever. Which one of these free channels is better? Like, I don't know, man. But yeah, there's nothing wrong with Roku TV, man. Look, if I didn't have all those subscriptions to all of those other like real channels, like being a real dick about it. No, I would watch Roku TV all the time. Like, why not? It's like free shit. Nothing wrong with that. So, the latest episode of The Boys, episode 7, at the time that you're listening to this, the season finale, I believe, is out right now. They said that I
watched about 15 minutes of it.
Oh, you fucking bastard.
Only 15 minutes. Nothing of note happened, I don't think. But I'm not
like, how do you know how long it is? Is it a longer episode?
It's only an hour.
All right. Yeah, I'll be watching that at 6 a.m. tomorrow, I'm sure. So look, episode 7 I thought was really good. Like, they're really kind of ramping up the madness that I'm sure episode 8 goes fully into. But, like, spoiler alert for The Boys, episode 7, in previous episodes, like, finding out that Homelander is actually the son of Soldier Boy is a beautifully weird fucking situation. And also that fight was good, man. Like a fucking powered up Butcher and Soldier Boy taking on
at the end of 6.
Or yeah, that was at the end of 6. Was pretty fun. And so in 7, sort of the ramifications of him, like, of Homelander being like, yeah, I'm gonna take Maeve, I'm gonna take your eggs and make a child. I was like, this is like really weird and very timely.
Exactly.
Super timely.
I feel like they didn't see this one coming.
No, and they're like, oh, we'll just write this in. What's the worst that could happen? It's like, I don't know. It feels.
Hold on, guys. I got this crazy idea. And
right, like,
this is what happened.
Right. It feels a little ripped from the headlines kind of situation, which is fucked up. But yeah, like seeing into the mind of Black Noir, which is like kind of fucked up and like weird. But like the show has the ability to be as goofy as it wants to be, but have such a great underpinning of like serious tone about shit. Like it flips on a dime. I'm really gonna try to get my wife to watch this. Like start at season 1.
How?
I don't know. I'm gonna try. Like, cause she doesn't have a problem with like violence and shit like that. She likes stuff that has like layered characters. I feel like the second Homelander shows up, she's gonna be like, I don't like that guy, and then like I'll be like, but wait, there's more, and then it's just like off to the races. But I think she might actually dig it. So I'm gonna try.
this season so far. It's very good. It's an excellent season. The first 5 minutes of this season, I almost was like, I can't do this. Like, I'm like, this is disgusting. Like, I'm dead serious. That shit with the dick, I'm like, yo, if they're gonna get worse than this, I think I'm done.
Yeah,
Because
they had to
as
set that bar super high.
Yeah, because as I've gotten older, right? Like, I used to watch just nothing really fazed me, but when that shit popped up, I was like, nigga, come on. 10 minutes in, like, are we really doing this?
Well,
and you can only go like, how do you start this high? And then they were like, the Hero-gasm episode is going to be the craziest shit. I'm like, yo, I've seen porn worse than this.
Right,
Like, what
right.
the fuck? This was
Like,
nothing.
yeah, like ironically, Hero-gasm wasn't nearly as bad.
No, not even close.
Right, like I feel like they should have saved.
Fucking squid. I'm like,
yeah, like we kind of come to expect that with the deep. Right.
Weird. Very weird, but I'm like, it wasn't bad.
No, I thought it was going to be way more extreme. It was mostly like, here's some boobs. I was like, all right. I mean, all right.
I've seen enough of those in this fucking show.
Right, like that is fine. I mean, don't take them away. It's fine. But I would have probably saved the guy like shrinking down and walking into a man's penis. I would have saved that for Hero-gasm.
Yeah, you would
like,
have saved that for Hero-gasm.
Yeah.
Blowing up, and then it would have been straight chaos. But like that in the first 10 minutes. Like, yeah, you started that shit off with a bang. Like, no pun intended. Like, goddamn.
Well, it's funny because like after that first episode, Michael was here and he was like, because I think they put out 3 episodes that like at the first shot, right? Yeah. And he was like, yeah, I only watched the first 2. He was like, I had to like get reacclimated to how fucked up the show was. like I forgot how horrible it was. Like just in gross factor. So yeah,
that was fucking gross, man. I was just like,
yeah, I was like, we could end this part like anytime. Like anytime.
And I think that only means that the production is going to try to ramp it up even more, like into season 4, because people are going to be like, "Yo, season 3 was crazy. What are they going to do for season 4?"
Right. But it is like I said last week. This is one of the rare shows or rare adaptations that is simply better than the comic. Like it just is. Yeah. And like there is something to be said about realizing that like you don't have to just be like, it needs to match the comic, because there's a lot of things that are like wildly different. Like for people who've never read the comic, who are just into the show, which is totally fine. Like Black Noir, like Terrence, right? Like Black Noir is not a black dude. He's actually like a clone or like a twin of Homelander. Right, but he doesn't speak and shit like that. Yeah. So like that's a big reveal. Is like, no, he just looks like Homelander, and he was like, oh shit, like really, and it's like surprise. So there is a lot of like things like that that happened in the book that are just wildly different. Like the Legend, played by Paul Reiser, who I think is great in this. Like I just fucking love Paul Reiser.
His character just seems like this.
Oh, I'm sorry.
His character just seems like going over the top on like just. I don't know. It just seems like they're trying too hard with that character for me. I don't know. Like again, I don't know anything about the Legend of the comics, but is he even in the comics? Yeah,
he's in the comics, but he's basically a Stan Lee analog, right? Like, so he's supposed like quite literally like kind of looks like Stan Lee and stuff like that. So he's kind of supposed to be that, but he is over the top. Like the Legend.
His dialogue in this show, I'm just kind of like. First of all, it's Paul Reiser, so I'm like,
it's a bit weird.
Fucking aliens and mad about you.
Right.
So I don't know him from anything else. I know he's been in other things, but like it's just weird.
I mean, I feel like
throwing me off a little bit.
Like I feel like like those are really the only 2 roles I associate with Paul Reiser, and I definitely and weirdly I definitely associate Paul Reiser more with Mad About You than Alien, which is really fucking weird. I love that show, man. I love that show. I do. Look, I love Paul Reiser. When they were like, Paul Reiser's going to be the Legend, I was like, fuck yes. And then he showed up. I was like, this is weird. Paul Reiser wouldn't say this. Like, where's Helen Hunt?
I'm sure they probably did that on purpose to get Paul Reiser to be like, oh, there's a certain like look Paul Reiser has. Let's make him a complete just fucking dick.
Yeah, right. Like let's play totally against type.
Yeah, all right.
Which to Paul Reiser's credit, like I kind of like that. Like I love when actors are like seen as these innocent, nice people, and they're like, "Nah, I'm gonna play a piece of shit." It's like, yeah, I'm gonna have really fun with it. All right, that's cool. Like I love that dialogue when they first meet him. He was like, having sex with a man is gay now? Get the fuck out of here. He's like, the shit I did back in the 70s? Like, get out of here. Like, whatever. Like, that was just like, it is what it is. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the season finale. I'm looking forward to it, and then I'm also not, because like I'm gonna miss the show because I'm having such a good time with it. Like it's such like it is appointment television for me. Absolutely. Episode 5 of Miss Marvel, the penultimate episode. Look, I think this episode was like pulls back on the action and is just damn good storytelling. Like they are doing a really good job in making you give a shit about these characters and sort of the history of all of this. Like never like the talk of like, oh, the MCU is sanitized. Oh, they're talking about the partition, like the British Empire being pieces of shit and dividing an entire nation of people. Like, and they're like not really pulling punches on it. It's kind of amazing. Like I'm very, very impressed with this show, I have to say.
This has been my favorite Disney Plus show.
Really? Yeah. I think it's up there, man. I really do.
I don't know. I didn't really like. What was the last one? Moon Knight.
Yeah, Moon Knight. I thought it was okay. Yeah, I think it was okay.
Falcon and Winter Soldier, black.
Right, right.
So, like I felt like intrinsically I needed to like that, and it was fine. The ending didn't really stick to landing very well.
Yeah.
WandaVision was cool. Like I like the difference. I like how it was different than anything else you had seen. But this one in particular, like it's not a bunch of white folks. It's a different culture. I know I'm not supposed to be able to, relate because I'm black, and I'm not supposed to. I'm supposed to be bored. But no, it's great. Like it's like the acting is great. I love all the characters. Like it is my favorite show so far from the MCU.
Yeah, I think it's stellar. I really do. I think they've really pushed the envelope on it. What do you think, Mark?
Really good storytelling.
Yeah.
Yeah, for this, especially for Miss Marvel, I think this is probably my favorite episode for this season or for Miss Marvel. Pretty much because we actually get into the whole backstory and the legend of like the great grandma and like how she was involved with like these people and stuff like that. And it was a really good kind of like, all right, let's take a break. Let's just study this stuff and then see how it goes from there. Even though like I think Jay, I think you said this last week. We kind of got a hint that like Kamala Khan was going to have some influence on what happened to her grandmother with the whole finding her way back to the train or something like that. Or it was kind of like really led up to this idea of she may have something to do with it.
Right.
But I'm glad like the entire episode wasn't focused on Kamala Khan and how she made that happen. It was just like, no, this is like the story she's heard about her great grandma, and like here's the reveal, which I thought it was like a good kind of like pause on like the action that we saw in last week's episode.
Right. Yeah. Look, I mean, it is nothing. Like I feel like, and again, I've said this over the number of weeks. Like I feel like people don't realize what the Disney Plus series are right. Like I think they're just like, oh, these are 6 episodes of fucking action, just like the movies. Like, nah, yo, these are the deeper storytelling elements. Like for whatever you think of Moon Knight, and I thought it was okay, right? Like Oscar Isaac was putting in work when it came to the dealing with like having multiple personalities, right? Like dissociative identity disorder, stuff like that. Like you can't deal with that stuff heavily in a movie to any like real degree. Like it'd feel like very secondary. Like you don't have the time, right? You're like, put on the costume and punch people. Like I'm here for that, right? So, but when he shows up in the movies, that's what they'll do, right? But like this one dealing so like deeply with like the jinn and everything else, like that's a part of Arabic folklore, like for real, right? Like they're like known as genies and stuff like that. Like depending on who you talk to, like that's a part of real like pre-Islamic Arabic history, right? So like melding that with the Marvel Cinematic Universe is like really fucking interesting, right? And I know like people aren't giving this a lot of like, people are like, I'm not gonna watch it because this is a teen and it's not about white guys, that kind of thing. And And I feel like you're really missing an opportunity to see the Marvel Cinematic Universe do something really unique, right? And they really they're really quite nailing it. This episode was like all about the fucking history, which I was like I thought was just really well done. Side note, like, not to be a piece of shit, but like, it's me.
Look, I know.
Look, go ahead. Tell me what I'm gonna say. Tell me what I'm gonna say.
Granny was fine.
Yeah, she super was. She was.
Yeah.
That woman playing Aisha was fucking gorgeous. Good God. I was like,
oh yeah.
When dude like found her sleeping by the tree, I was like, I get it, no.
Yeah.
Like, I shoot my shot too. Like, I'll break your leg. He was like, I don't really use this. Like, I don't know.
Like with this one?
Yeah. He's like, I'll put a pause on the revolution just for her, of course.
Right. Like, no one, we can wait. What's your number though? Like, nice. It was super fun. Good God. But the whole series is just like sprinkled with like super fun South Asian women. I was just like, I'm a fan. Like this show is doing it for me. But yeah, I think it's really clever and like dealing with the sort of generational stuff with like that last moment of Kamala and her mom and her grandmother like kind of reconciling their story together. I thought was awesome. And I like the fact that it's not like, we don't know that our daughter's a superhero. She's like, oh, you're that light girl? Like, and the grandmother's like, yo, I told you we were magic, nigga. Like, what the fuck?
That's what I was waiting for the whole season. I'm like, yo, just tell your mother, please.
Yeah, and like they were just like, all right, we got
already superheroes flying all over the place.
Right, like let's
like this. You're 16 years old. Should probably be like, I fear for your life, but
Yeah, like I felt like the mom wasn't like that mad about it, but like they hadn't gone off to like a big adventure. Like, where are you going? Like, I got shit to do. So I am really looking forward to the season finale because I want to see if those cameos that have been rumored pop up and like how they set up the finale for where she goes in the movies, right? Where she goes into Marvels. But I think this entire season has been phenomenal storytelling. I really do. So
I was actually kind of pissed off at the end of the episode because how it ended with Damage Control coming in and like what's his name? Cameron like using his powers and then like credits. And I'm like, yo, what the fuck?
It was a hard ending. It was like a real sharp. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, I agree with you. I was like, but I more, please, more. And I'm like fast forwarding to see if there's like a surprise, like after credit shit. There wasn't. But also I did notice, by the way, that the Damage Control drone looks exactly like the drone from
the Stark Tech,
from Spider-Man. Yeah, the Stark Tech drones, right? So I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. I wonder, like, will they talk about that a little bit? Like, I found that to be kind of fascinating. So, yeah, man, look, Ms. Marvel episode 5, again, very good. Looking forward to the season finale of that. Next up, let's get right into topics. So it's been rumored a lot, but the AV Club is officially reporting what the Hollywood Reporter is reporting, which is that Daredevil and Kingpin, Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio, respectively, obviously, will show up in the Disney Plus Echo series, right? Which is a spinoff of the Hawkeye show. Okay. Look, I can't wait to see those two go at it, which is fucking dope. The talk is that Kristen Ritter's Jessica Jones may also appear, that Daredevil's actually looking for her, and that Daredevil is going to wear the black and red suit from the comics, which I'm also looking forward to. Look, my biggest thing is I like the costume in Daredevil, wasn't my favorite. I want him to look more like a ninja than just a bruiser. So I'm hoping they kind of figure that out. And I feel like with like real Marvel money, they probably will. So what say you guys?
Yeah. So I think it is pretty dope that, because I've been hearing rumors that what's her name? Jessica Jones. Yeah, that she is supposed to be coming back, and that Disney Plus had actually changed the title of the episode Jessica Jones to like AKA Jessica Jones, which had people kind of coming together thinking like, oh, maybe they'll bring the character back and maybe a TV show or a part in a movie or something like that. But I think this is a great way to, especially like Kingpin, Daredevil, like great way to like bring them back into this universe, which, you know, seeing him show up in like Spider-Man, No Way Home, I was glad seeing the other Spider-Man showing up, but when he showed up in that movie, I was like, fuck yes, this is what I want. I really needed him to come back.
Yeah.
So seeing him there, and of course, like, come on, Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin. He's one of those actors who's got the perfect role now. Like, it's so weird to see somebody else not play that character.
To say he's inspired casting it's like an understatement because he's so fucking good. Daredevil was very, very good. Like, first season was great. Second season, it was okay. Third season was awesome, right? Like, that third season was like fucking like, they nailed it. I was like, this is what we have been waiting for, is like this sort of like great storytelling with action and stuff like that. Like Bullseye and all that shit. By the way, please bring that guy back as Bullseye.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You would be crazy not to. He was a fucking psycho. Like, he was so good. But like, that was so good, and that was such a great high bar. Like, the one thing when that guy canceled is like, oh, they're not gonna have, like, they're gonna like do another guy as Daredevil. Like, that's kind of unfortunate. But they played it smart. I kind of just hope that they play it smart, that they don't need to bring back everybody from those movies or from those TV shows. Like, you don't have to be married to that shit. I just saw Evil got renewed for a 4th season, so somebody's busy. Somebody's busy. You look, don't even call him. He don't like. Just pick somebody else. I personally would have picked the dude from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Like, that guy would have been a better choice, frankly. I have long been on the record on this show saying that my culture is just not niggerish enough for Luke Cage. For me.
I would rather Laz Alonso play fucking Nick Cage.
Laz Alonso, he would have been awesome. He would have been awesome. Yeah, he would have been.
After watching him on The Boys, that dude would be fucking dope.
The only problem is, like, Lance Alonso's not gonna shave his head, yo. He not. Yo,
he seems kind of tiny, too tiny to play that character.
Is he?
He's like, what?
Too small to play?
I don't know. Like, I don't know, because I guess because I'm seeing him because I see him stand next to Carl Urban. I'm just like, yo, that dude must not be.
I mean, Carl Urban is a big fucking like dude.
6'1", 6'2", or something like that. He's a big dude.
Yeah, he's a super big guy.
That's when I was 5'11".
Jay's like, no, he can play.
That's big enough. Like, that actually might be too big. Like, he might be too big. Like,
Jack Quaid is also like 6'2", 6'3". He's tall as fuck too.
Yeah, he's just a fucking string bean.
Isn't he?
But
he says 5'11". That doesn't make sense. How tall is Carl?
I feel like Lance Alonso would have been a good choice. Like, that's not bad, actually. Like, I actually really, really like him on The Boys. Like, he's great as MM. And MM is like fine in the comics. He brings a level of like layeredness to that character that I think is, again, better than the comics ever did. So yeah, look, I'm very excited for what Echo does, and it's funny because I hate to say this, but like,
I don't know what that is.
Echo is the woman who was deaf in Hawkeye. She becomes kind of like a street level hero, but it's really funny because like all the stuff around Echo seems to be more interesting than the Echo series in and of itself, right? Like, so I mean, look, I thought she was a badass on the show, like, but I wouldn't have thought they would go with her as a character they would kind of spin off. But look, I also like the fact that like she's deaf. I think she has only one leg and stuff like that, like in real life too. So like I think that's awesome. Like, to have somebody who is a handy capable or whatever the term they want to use. I'm just trying to be respectful. I'm not trying to be a dick. Like, I think it's cool to have a hero that represents folks that have those particular types of challenges. So I think that's really cool. I'm just hoping that she doesn't kind of get lost in her own series, because like Daredevil and Kingpin and Jessica Jones are also in it. Like I just hope that she's not pushed to the background on that.
Yeah,
I feel like you have to put those characters in so people will actually watch it.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's.
I think I read that Daredevil is only supposed to be maybe showing up for maybe like 1 or 2 episodes or something like that. And the fact that they got this actress to play, it's essentially spearhead the show. Marvel must be seeing something that we're not seeing, that enough to give her own series.
Right, and she was a badass in Hawkeye. Like she was like formidable. Like she was like a good fighter and shit like that. Which, by the way, that's kind of an underrated series. I really enjoyed that series. Hawkeye too. Yeah, that shit was like really fun. Like it had a lightness to it that like just really fucking worked. And I think it's the Christmas time frame too. Like it's giving me a little bit of like Die Hard vibes, right? Like so I just kind of love that series. I just thought it was really fun.
Where do you rank the series as far as like if you would have ranked them 1 through how many? 5, 6?
So there's WandaVision, Falcon and Winter Soldier, Hawkeye, Moon Knight. Loki and Miss Marvel. I put Hawkeye probably number 3 or 4, right? Like it's in the, like probably the top 3 for me, top 4. Because I think I put like WandaVision, Miss Marvel, probably Falcon and the Winter Soldier for me, Hawkeye, Moon Knight, and then
Loki.
No, I got to put Loki higher than that. Yeah, because Loki's actually quite good. So I don't know. Probably
like what you forgot about it.
Yeah, I did, but like not. But thinking back, I did enjoy it. I probably it's somewhere around like number 4 or whatever. I would suppose, like, because none of them I thought I think Moon Knight is like my least favorite, to be honest. Like, to me, it's my least favorite. And it's not because the character sucks.
On that one.
Yeah, I just think, like, the story was kind of bland. Like, but I thought Oscar Isaac was awesome.
Isaac was the best part of that entire series.
Yeah, I think he was.
Yeah, I just didn't. Itself, I was just kind of like.
Yeah. Like, I'm really looking forward to whatever they do with, I guess, potentially, like, Midnight Suns with him in it. Like, I think it's going to be fucking awesome. I just, like, that series was just okay to me. Like, it was just okay. So, yeah, Echo seems like it's going to be pretty packed, which will be interesting. But again, like, I like the idea, like Mark was saying, like, that Daredevil's only in 2 episodes. Like, he doesn't need to be in a bunch of episodes, because then it starts to take away. Also, he's getting his own series. So, like, clearly they're doing something with the street level heroes, and my guess is, like, you're going to get, like, the Avengers type of thing, like that high level shit. Then you're going to get the street level heroes are going to have their own level of shit. And then I think you're going to get, like, the dark weirdo shit with, like, Moon Knight and Blade and Black Knight, and all those guys are going to get their own shit. So, like, it's kind of cool to kind of have those factions in the MCU. We don't need to have an Avengers assemble with Moon Knight standing next to Miss Marvel. That seems ridiculous. Like, I just think that they're just separating things out, and I think that's totally fine. That works for me. Next up, Taron Egerton has met with Kevin Feige on a particular Marvel or about a Marvel role. He's hoping that he gets a shot at playing Wolverine. You'll know Taron Egerton from Rocketman, the upcoming series Blackbird, I think, which I think comes out like this week or something like that. And then, of course, he played Eggsy in Kingsman. I've only seen him in Kingsman, and I think he is perfectly fine. I don't have anything negative to say about him, but I don't have anything like I was blown away by him either. So, what about you guys?
Yeah, I've been hearing his name as a potential like replacement for Hugh Jackman as Wolverine for a while. I have seen him in Rocketman, and I'll be the first. I'm not the only one saying this, but he was robbed from being nominated at the Oscars. That dude had an amazing performance in that movie. Plus, I've seen. Oh God, I think Rocketman was maybe 3 years ago or something like that. But I've already.
Because
I mean, I think Rocketman came out the year after Rami Malek got nominated and won, obviously, for Bohemian Rhapsody. So my guess is that they were like, a little similar, right? You know, like, because Oscars do shit like that. It's like, but that has nothing to do with the performance. Like who gives a fuck that they're two like musicians? Like, if it deserved it, it deserved it. But I have heard his performance as Elton John is pretty great. But go ahead, Mark. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So like, he has said that he wants to play Wolverine, and I've seen like concept arts or like pictures of like fan drawings of him and stuff like that. Which it would make sense if Marvel got this guy to play Wolverine, because Marvel they're trying to get people, especially like this particular character, for a number of movies, and they want somebody who's young and still recognizable and stuff like that. I've also heard Carl Urban as Wolverine.
He's too old.
Anthony, he's too old. Or Anthony Starr as another one, but they're doing great on The Boys, so obviously they're not gonna get that part. Right. But I'm for this. I can't think of anybody else. Well, other than John Barathol, but he's
that's Punisher. Right. Like, look. If that dude wasn't in anything else and he was like a little bit younger, I think you'd be crazy not to pick him. But like you can literally look up pictures of him. Like, he kind of had like a Wolverine haircut at one point. I'm like, yo, are you auditioning for this role? He's got the role. He's got the look. He's got the
grovel.
Yeah, he's got like that fucking vibe, right? Like where you can just be like, yeah, this guy's kind of a dick.
He seems like he's fucking dangerous.
Yeah.
He just does. He looks like he seems like a dangerous individual.
Like, I told this story on the show, right? I'm in Baltimore, right? He was here because he's from DC, like Terrence said. But he was here in Baltimore doing We Own the City, which he was a real piece of shit in that series. He was awesome though. God, if he doesn't get nominated for something for that series, that is bullshit. It is bullshit because he was incredible.
His character stole money from a midget prostitute, and I was like, all right,
no, a midget stripper. She was a stripper,
stripper.
Yeah, she wasn't doing nothing illegal. He just stole money from her.
She was in the Gold Club.
Yeah, she was in the Gold.
Chaps Pit Beef right next to me.
Nigga, that's right near my job. It's right near my job. It's right
one
near
of the funniest things you'll ever see is a strip club. Is Gold. That's the strip club they were in, the Gold Club.
Yep.
But in the same parking lot, there's a place called Chaps Pit Beef, and the dude that what was his name? The lieutenant was talking about it in one of the episodes. I'm like, so you better go to the strip club.
Yeah. Look. I've been to Chaps Pit Beef. One, it's good. Yeah. I've also been to Gold's. It's also good.
It's fine,
Yeah, he stole money from that little stripper. That wasn't right. He was a real piece of shit in that. But so I was downtown at the time that they were filming We Own the City, and my wife and I and my daughter, we were downtown eating at a restaurant, and we were sitting outside, and like, look, I know that face. Like, I know him, yo. Like, he's got a very specific look, and apparently, like, he's a big like pit bull guy. Like, he's of course he is. Mm-hmm. Of course he is. And I saw him because we were right near the Four Seasons, which is clearly where he was staying. And that dude like religiously walks his dog in the evening. Dude had on black hoodie, sunglasses, hood pulled up, walking his very large pit bull. And I was like, that's John Barenthal. You can't hide from me. I know that face. And he was walking towards me, and I was sitting outside, and I was like, oh shit. I was like, dude, I'm a huge fan. He was like, thanks, brother. And just kept walking. I was like, that's my John Barenthal moment. That's it. That's it.
He's got a podcast called Real Ones with John Barenthal.
Oh, really? No, I have not listened.
Like, it's just him talking to a bunch of niggas. It's weird. Like he's like I feel like if he wasn't an actor, he'd be a criminal.
Nah, yo, I listened to he was on a podcast. I can't remember whose podcast it was, but I like, if I could find the clip on YouTube, I'll send it to you guys. But he was talking about a story, like he had just started acting, because like he went to like a very like prominent. Yeah, like a prominent like acting school in Russia, right? Where they like method acting and shit like that. And I'm like, but all your roles is like they like you, so like, is it really that? Like, I don't know, man. Like, I feel like you're being typecast as a psycho. Except for in one series, which I will not give away, that he is in, which I was happy to see his face in recently. Yeah. But so like his whole thing, like he told a story how he was just like, he had just got like a big role or whatever, and he's walking his pit bull like around DC or somewhere he was, and some guy was like tried to take his dog, and he just like beat the shit out of this guy as he was like pulled a knife on him or some crazy shit, and he got into this huge fight with this guy. Like, he's John Barenthal, the actor at this point, right? But like he's only just kind of becoming an actor. He's still like, he got a little bit of like, he's kind of still Frank Castle on the weekends type of shit, right? And he said he got into this fight, and like the guy, like he beat the guy up like pretty badly, and the guy literally looked up and there was a billboard of John Barenthal, like, oh shit, he's gonna be in this like movie coming, like, or TV show or whatever. And he tried to sue, like he sued this guy, like this guy sued him for like $2 million or some shit like that, and like because he kicked the shit out of this guy so bad. He was like, you don't fuck with my dogs. Like that's just kind of the guy he is. And I was like, and he basically was like, look, I had to make a decision right there. Like, am I going to like keep down this path, or am I going to like stop the bullshit and become an actor? And he's like, he had that like come to Jesus moment, like right then after like beating the shit out of this guy. It was like,
just digging his fist into the dude's face.
Right. I need to be a better person. But like all that like bravado, like that's who he really is. Like, the dude's not really acting.
You know who he's married to, right?
No.
Kurt Angle's niece, or
oh shit.
because
of course he is.
Because of
that's a weird ass connection.
Like again, he had her. Was Kurt Angle on the show? I think he interviewed Kurt Angle, or like Kurt Angle's brother or something like that was on one of the episodes. He's married to his not his daughter, but like his niece.
Yeah, that's wild. Like that.
Yeah, it's fucking nuts.
That is very, very nuts.
Like or something like. His brother's a doctor. I don't know what kind of doctor he is, but his brother, he interviewed his brother also, his own brother.
All right, I'm gonna have to listen to that podcast.
It's a cool show. It's cool.
I like him, man. I really do. I think he would have been an awesome Wolverine. Like if because I think he's a little too old, because he's like probably mid to late 50s or mid to late 40s. Excuse me.
40,
yeah.
Like Taron Egerton, I think is like 32 or something like that, or 38 or 35 or something like that. You need someone about that age, right? Because you need somebody who's going to be in these movies for like 5-6 of these movies and just stay around. And you could be like, oh, he's older now, like, and he could just stick around.
Yeah.
So, I mean, unfortunately, like Hugh Jackman got screwed because he was in a bunch of shitty movies, and then when they finally got it right, dude was like 50, and he's like, I can't.
I'm done.
Like, yo, have you seen my physique? I can't keep this shit up. Like, you out of your mind? Like, they finally got him looking right in Wolverine, and I'm like, yo, you can't take all of these drugs like forever. You just can't.
Yeah, if you see like recent pictures of him, he lost all the muscles, like just gone.
Like, I'm not playing this no more. I'm like, what do I need these muscles for?
Right, like I'm in Les Miserables. I don't need this. Like, I don't need to bench 405. I'm fine, right? So, like, look, I think Hugh Jackman left a pretty great legacy, like, because I think he really, like, especially in the Wolverine and in Logan, like, really finally nailed that role, and it was never his fault, right? Like, I always thought he was good. He just had like just shitty writing. Like, those Bryan Singer movies are just not good. I saw someone say, "Oh, X-Men 2 is like fantastic." I'm like, have you watched it recently? It's not. It really isn't. It was just that there was nothing else, and we just thought it was
best of the three.
Oh, easily, but that doesn't make it good. Like, that doesn't make it good. It's certainly not.
Well, compared to everything else that's come out in the last 20 years, I mean, you can't. It's kind of unfair.
Right.
Like, when it came out, it was the best next to like Blade.
Right. And that's what I'm saying.
Spider-Man.
Like, if you had put Jackman, like if you made Jackman early Hugh Jackman Wolverine in the MCU, they would have gone to
Yeah, it
work
would
with
have totally
that.
worked. Yeah.
It would have super worked. Like, because, I mean, even when you look back at, like, him in X1, you're like, is this the same guy? Because he's 70 pounds lighter than he was by the end of that franchise. Like, Jesus Christ. He looks like me compared to, like, Demetrius by the end. It's ridiculous. This is a ridiculous comparison. So yeah, look, if Taron Egerton gets the role, like I think I'm okay with that. Like I didn't dislike him as Eggsy. I thought he was pretty good. But there's part of me that kind of wants a complete unknown, much like Hugh Jackman was. Like somebody that we can't go, oh, but he was in this. I kind of want somebody that like we don't see coming at all. You know, like Howard Stern as Dr. Doom, like something we just don't see coming. I saw Micah last night. And he was like, how are people this stupid? Like, how do they possibly believe that Howard Stern is going to be Dr. Doom? I was like, I don't know, man, but I can't wait for his movie. It's going to be great.
The funny story is, in an alternate universe, Wolverine is played by the villain in Mission Impossible 2.
Oh,
Have you guys ever heard this story?
Dougray, what's
Dougray Scott?
Dougray Scott. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. He was supposed to take that role. Yeah, he was supposed to take that role. Yeah, and like he had to drop out, and Hugh Jackman was like, "I'll take it."
Yeah, fuck yeah, I'll take it. Give me the money. Yeah, that's right. Like she was practically gagging for it. I believe was their line in that movie. Oh, Mission Impossible 2. Look, that's not a good movie, but I love it. Like I love how ridiculous it is. I love it. It's one of my favorite bad movies. Next up, the Duffer Brothers to adapt Stephen King and Paul Straub's fantasy horror novel, The Talisman. I don't read Stephen King books because I'm a coward. But apparently the book tells the fantastical journey of its main character, a 12-year-old boy named Jack, as he goes on a quest to find a magical stone that will cure his mother, who is deathly ill. The science fiction aspects of the book kicks into high gear when Jack travels to an alternate universe known as the Territories, where everyone living in the real world has a doppelganger. Those living in the Territories are able to flip realities and go into the body of their counterparts, something that proves to be disastrous for the young man's journey. The book is a nonstop action ride between the two alternative worlds, and there is even a werewolf, apparently. The Duffer Brothers, if you are not familiar, and you should be, are the guys who do Stranger Things. And more about them later, but Mark and Ross Duffer. It's wild that these guys made one thing, and it's like it's become like an international fucking phenomenon. Terrence, are you caught up on Stranger Things?
I've seen 3 episodes of that entire series.
I feel like you should try it again. Like if you clearly fell off on it, because it gets real fucking gross and weird. And like it really kind of pushes the horror elements like pretty decently. In season 2 it does, but season 3 gets like fucking out of hand, in my opinion. Which I haven't been upset about. I like it.
It makes sense. It makes sense that the Duffer Brothers would take up a project like this because, like, they're known for working with kids, especially with Stranger Things. So I can totally see this being in their wheelhouse.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I'll see it.
Sorry, they're like that whole Stranger Things is like just nothing but 80s nostalgia, right?
It is right. It takes place in the 80s, like the Midwest 80s. So like they're like, we're going to the mall. Yeah, they're just like, we're going to the mall, right? Like it's just
There's
like
maybe 1 or 2 black people here.
Right. Well, and look, and in fairness to them, like by season 3, they're like, we're just gonna make like our black character and his black sister, like they are a part of the main fucking cast. Like, look, there's 5 black people in the middle of like Omaha or wherever the fuck they are. They're like, put them in, like fuck it. I mean, largely it's just what if the Ghostbusters were kids? That's all it is. Like, it's quite literally like 3 white kids and a black kid. Like, why do you think that? Why do you think that is the design of the team? Right? Like, it's obvious. But it's like, what if the Ghostbusters? Like, what if they figured them out as they were kids, and then they're just dealing with like this crazy other universe, right? This mirror universe of like monsters and shit that somehow have made it into their world. But it's pretty. Like I kind of fell off. Like I was saying last week, I kind of fell off a little bit in the beginning of season 3, but I got back into it. I'm now into season 4. It's good. It's good. So, like I'm enjoying the fact that these guys are like really kind of pushing the envelope. So, like, yeah, like good for them. It's really kind of dope. Next up, James Cameron, director of Avatar, is really upset at you fucking trolls. And by you trolls, he's probably talking about me personally. He says that James Cameron on why he thinks rewatching the first Avatar, rewatching the first Avatar will get trolls to, quote, shut the fuck up. Here's the thing, James Cameron. I'm not going to watch it because I'm not going to watch it in 2D because there's nothing about this story that's interesting except for the 3D. That's it. Sorry. I don't give a shit about this movie. I don't like blue cats. I don't care. I don't give a fuck. And I don't think many people do.
Why does he say that? Why does he say if you rewatch the first one, which again, I told you a couple of days ago, I only saw it in theaters one time and it was amazing because of the 3D. And I've tried to watch it several times on regular television, and it's an impossibility. I can't do it. It's not good.
It's an impossibility.
like I can't do it. I can't. I've tried. I'm like, yo, this is boring. I need to see shit whizzing past my face, and I don't have 3D television to do
right.
That.
Right. So here's his quote. The trolls will have it that nobody gives a shit, and they can't remember the characters' names or a damn thing that happened in the movie.
That's correct.
I besides Jake Sully, I quite literally don't know any of the characters' names.
Do you, Mark? Can you name any of the characters?
Jake Sully. There you go.
I'm like, oh, that's a different character and a different thing altogether.
Yeah, you just made you tried to add in an ethnic name, and you were wrong. You're racist. He goes on to say, then they see the movie again and go, oh, okay, excuse me. Let me just shut the fuck up right now. So I'm not worried about that. Here's the thing, dude. Nobody's rewatching this at home.
They're not. Some people actually do love this movie. Some people do love the first movie and can watch it. I am not one of them.
I am not one of them. And look, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
You can't, people that are saying, are probably they probably tried because they saw it in the movie theater, and then they were like, "Oh,
there's no depth to this movie. Like there's no depth. Like there
the 3D that was coming at my face,
right? And it looked amazing. Look. I mean, right? That is the only depth. Like the irony is, he made a movie that looks so good and raised the bar on 3D that it spawned all of the remember right after everything was everything's in 3D. Yeah. Holy shit. And it was all post recording 3D and it
was trash.
And it was just fucking bullshit. It was just a cash grab. But that's how good the 3D was, that people were looking for the next Avatar. There has never been a 3D movie that has even come close to what he did.
Yeah.
And you got to give the guy credit. The shit looked great. It looked really fucking amazing. But the reason that is the only reason it became really a phenomenon. People are like, oh, well, it was sort of a story about, climate change and all this other stuff. I'm like, yeah, if you reach fucking Reed Richards and you're reaching to get there, yeah, I guess. But the reality is it really wasn't. It didn't have any depth of characters or anything else. The reason why people don't remember the character's name is because no one gave a fuck about the story. They didn't care about the story. I remember that humans came to this planet. They had technology to make humans into the Na'vi. Jake Sully was I got wheels for legs, so I can't I can't walk around. And they were like, don't worry, we're gonna put you we're gonna give you the blue juice and then make you a giant cat person. He goes, he's like, hey, I really like these people. He falls in love with Zoe Saldana. Of course, his eyes work. I get it. And then he's he does the Dances with Wolves thing, and he's he goes native, and he's like, yo, I ain't coming back. And then fucking great value Cable was like, I'm gonna kill you. And he's like, I got a big knife. And then he attacks them in a fucking giant mech suit, and they like blew up a fucking fancy tree. Like,
I don't even remember all of that.
that's all I remember. That's all I remember. And then I remember like that their hair or whatever is like a key, and it's like for sexual organs, but like also like turns on the animals like so they can ride them. Like I thought that was weird. Like that was a bit weird. But like that's it. Like if you tell me, well, that's the whole plot, I'm like, that's not a very good plot. It's not.
Yeah, the fact that you can explain it in less than 5 minutes, that's.
But there's no character depth. There's no character depth. There's no underarching meaning of anything. Like nothing really represented anything.
I remember that.
Yes, which is a real scientific thing. I mean, it sounds silly, but it is a scientific thing. But like, yeah, people don't remember the names, dude, because nobody cares about the characters. Like, whatever Zoe Saldana's character is, like, she didn't represent anything for us to give a fuck about those characters. And you know, I see, like, I'm on Reddit and I see people talk about like box office numbers for it, and they're like, "Oh, don't doubt James Cameron." And look, that's fair. Like James Cameron puts butts in the seats, no doubt. That's not gonna make $2.8 billion, yo. It's not. It's not. Like people aren't clamoring for this shit. They're simply not. They're not.
Yeah, and it's a different playing field now because when that movie came out, like there wasn't Marvel, and now everybody's going to go see a Marvel movie. Everybody's like kind of moved on. I mean, yeah. For Avatar, I saw it twice in theaters. I saw it one time just by myself, and then I saw it another time. I took my mother to see it because she likes action films, and that was it. And I've seen it twice. Do not remember much of anything other than, oh, this shit looks really pretty.
Right, yeah. And like it was 13 years ago. How many times have you watched it at home? Right? How many?
Like I said, I tried.
Right. Like, okay, I won't even compare. I won't even do that. I'll make a better question. How many times have you watched a clip from Avatar on YouTube? 0 times in 13 years. Dude. But
the last thing I saw about that was it was on the Carter crew. They did the good and bad VFX, and they're like, Avatar's VFX still hold up 13 years later. It's like some of the best you've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean, and it does.
They just work their ass. Yeah. I mean, and like that's cool, but that's for VFX. Like we're not talking about the story. We're not talking about the writing, the dialogue, or anything like that. We're talking about the visual effects. Right. That's what he's known for. If you go through his category, like Avatar's not his best movie, not even by a long shot.
No, hell no. Aliens is his best movie, in my opinion. Aliens
and Terminator 2 are neck and neck for me.
Yeah, those are like concept battles. Yeah,
right. And the fucking the digital effects in Terminator 2 still hold up.
They
30
do.
years later.
Yeah,
nuts.
Which is crazy.
It doesn't make sense.
That makes no sense. But right, and they still not only do they still hold up, but like they hold up not in like in the box of that movie. They still hold up in like movies. Period. Like comparatively, like that shit doesn't.
Watch that. Like that's a movie that I can sit down. If it's on, I'm gonna watch the whole thing.
Yeah, I love Terminator 2.
And it's like 2.5 hours long. That movie's long as shit.
Like I remember seeing like it, like that's like cultural impact, right? And I'm not gonna say Avatar didn't have cultural impact because in like China and stuff like that, it absolutely did, right? Like it did huge numbers in China, but in the U.S., like, right, like I mean,
everything does.
Right, like I hate to be a dick, but like when you live under an authoritarian regime, it's very easy to be like, well, that was really great, yeah, because they're beating you like the second you leave. Like, oh man, this movie did really well in Russia. Yeah, they have Putin for president, dude. Like, they're just like, yeah, can we just not? Like, I don't want to eat gruel anymore. Can I just go see this Marvel movie for 2 hours? For the love of God, please. So I get it. Like, you know, shout out to Russians. I'm just being a dick. So, but like, not really. I don't give a shit about you. But so but my thing is, you know, you've not watched any clips of anything from Avatar in 13 years. How many times have you watched clips from a Marvel movie? Right? Too many for me to count, right? I've watched
29 movies.
Right. Like, but I have seen clips. I have rewatched the fucking driving, like the Nick Fury driving scene from Winter Soldier 100 times. I've watched the clip of the swinging together scene from fucking Far From Home. I've like all of that shit. I have rewatched tons of it because those are like, they meant something to me. Like, I was like, I remember when I was in theater, everyone has watched the Avengers Assemble fucking scene a bunch of times. It was awesome, right? So, like, but then, like, you look at the Marvel movies, not even just from a, just like a fucking surface level, but, like, think about Winter Soldier was about the Patriot Act, right? It had a concept and, like, something of depth about it, right? Like, other Marvel movies had something about it. This doesn't have anything about it. It's just like, it looks real pretty, and it's the Dances with Wolves fucking story. It's The Last Samurai. It's Fern Gully. It's any of those fucking movies. And it's like, you're going to have to bring something a little bit more interesting to get people, like Mark said, you were in a zone where nothing existed even remotely on this level 13 years ago. Now, it's every other month. You think Avatar's going to get 53 weeks or whatever the fuck it had in the theater, like it's going to get now?
That's why it's so much. That shit was in the movie theater for a year, right?
Yeah. Endgame was not. Endgame was not at all.
Endgame made like $2 billion in 2 months or some shit like that.
Yeah, it's a crazy amount.
Something like that. Yeah, there's nothing special about Avatar besides the visual effects. There just isn't. And like, I don't think you can bank on the fact that your visual effects are going to be so amazing, things that we haven't seen in the last 13 years, that you're going to make $2 billion off of. I mean, Titanic had amazing visual effects, but that was 2000.
Right.
Like, y'all sunk like damn near a real size ship for that fucking movie, which is ridiculous.
Right.
But nah, man, you got to come with more. Like, you're a visionary as far as visuals go, but so is fucking Zack Snyder.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you have to give us a good story.
Yeah, like I just the story has to be compelling. Like, it has to be compelling because people went and saw Endgame because that universe was compelling. That's what made people excited for it. It wasn't just visuals. Like, it's just not. Like, it's not. And that's why people still go to see those movies, is because the story, the overarching story, is compelling. So it'll look, I'm not hoping for it to fail. If we get a screener for it,
I hope it's good.
Like, I hope it's good. Look,
but
how could it not be? But I'm very interested to see what he thinks is going to be the big draw. Like, people still wearing masks in movie theaters. Oh, cool. I get to wear 3D glasses and a mask? That sounds awesome for fucking 2 hours.
That sounds very comfortable.
Yeah, like, what the fuck, dude? I don't want to wear that. Like, if he had come up with something like, this is amazing 3D, but you don't have to wear glasses, that could be something that people would be like,
yeah,
I want to see that. Like, I want to see what the fuck that's like. I want to see some Captain EO shit. Like blow my mind. But
you about to say that, Mark?
Well, let me ask you guys this question: how many times have you guys have seen the trailer for Avatar 2?
Once. I'm dead serious. I saw it. I was like, I don't care.
Nope, that was my thing. I saw it for the show, and I was like, this is a trailer.
Yeah, I saw it twice. Once on my phone, and another, not by choice, because it was a trailer before I think before Doctor Strange or some movie, and I was like, yeah, all right, that's it. It was not hyped up about it. I was just like, okay, yeah, I've seen this movie already, and it, like, that movie, it has to wow the fuck out of people to compete with today's type of movies.
Yeah, I got to tell you, if that movie only makes like $1.2 billion, I'm gonna laugh my fucking ass off. Which is not, by the way, it's not a bad number, right? Like, that's a perfectly good number. But I'm just gonna go on to Reddit r/box office and be like, I fucking told you, nobody cares about this movie. And not that $1 billion isn't a big deal; it's a huge deal. But it ain't $2 billion. It ain't $2.8 billion.
Yeah,
because for Avatar to make, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, like, Avatar made that much money because people went and saw it 3, 4, 5, 6 times. Dude, I just don't see in 13 years. Like, if he had put out Avatar 2 5 years later, I feel like people would have been like hyped to do it. 13 years and a whole 30 fucking Marvel movies have come out by the time this movie comes out. Nah, I just don't. I don't see it. I just don't see it.
And it's gotta justify the amount of time it's taken and all the money it's put in for these, like, supposed sequels now, because I think he has like 3 more sequels coming out.
He's gonna have 5 movies. We're getting ready to talk about more on that. So, like, I don't see it. Yeah, I just don't see it.
What was that Luc Besson movie that came out a couple years ago? Like when I saw the trailer, I know the visual effects are going to be better than that movie. But the fuck is the name of that movie? It came out like 2016, 2017. Where it was Valerian and
Valerian
the City of 1,000 Planets.
Yeah.
That's what it reminded me of.
Yeah, I didn't see that either.
I didn't see it.
I don't think anybody saw that.
I saw the trailer for it, and I was like, I don't see the difference.
Yeah,
like,
people were like, yeah, that movie's gonna be great, and I was like, it doesn't look great, and they were like, that movie wasn't great. I was like, yeah, I figured that.
When I saw the trailer for Avatar 2, I'm like, same concept? Probably not, but like that's what I see. Like I see a bunch of pretty colors. Like you got to give me more. Like I'm 40. You got to give me more than just a bunch of pretty colors. And sometimes I can't. Sometimes that works, but like I do still kind of like a story.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Like, look. I mean. Okay, so Avatar comes out worldwide.
2009, right?
No, I'm saying the new one.
The new one. November?
So December 16th.
Okay.
The things that it has to fight against, it's not a lot, right? But it does have to fight against Shazam! Fury of the Gods, right? And that seems to be the like kind of probably the biggest, which like that movie might want to move, to be honest. But like people really like Shazam, and the first Shazam is a pretty fun movie. Like I actually really like that movie. But that might be enough to siphon off some people, right? Like you got to remember, like that's a very kids movie. Kids running around fucking 13 years ago. They don't know what the fucking Avatar is, right? You got a whole like. In 13 years, you have a whole generation of kids who don't know what that movie is. They quite literally don't know what it is.
Mm-hmm. And never saw it in theaters.
Right. And so they watch it on Disney Plus. They were like, this is all right. They ain't gonna yell. They're not gonna yell "Blue Cats Assemble." And they're like, "This is fucking lame. Like, I'm not here for this. Fuck out of here. This movie's too long. I already saw Fern Gully. I don't need this." So, it'll be interesting to see if that like sort of takes away any money from it, because it quite literally comes out the same weekend. So, all right, James.
Weekend? So those two movies are coming out at the same weekend.
Yeah, December 16th.
Avatar 2 and the Shazam movie.
Yeah, December 16th.
Okay. Good luck with that.
I mean, look, DC. DC.
A lot of people.
I'd move it. Like I feel like I would move that, but. You know, it's DC. They're stupid. They don't know. Let's put it up against Avatar, guys. Like, I won't do that.
That's weird. Like, I feel like this. I mean, Avatar does have its fans. There are going to be people that are going to be seeing it day one, and that's fine. Like, I couldn't question your taste in movies, but
yeah, it couldn't be me.
It's fine. Right now, have either of you seen? Because I was talking about like visual effects and like storytelling in movies. Have either of you seen this movie RRR? That's on Netflix.
No, but I've been meaning to watch that.
Is this the Indian movie?
Yes, it's a Tollywood movie. What is he? I don't know the difference. There's a difference. I'm not versed on the region.
Tollywood.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that wild type of filmmaking that everybody's talking about with RRR. The only reason I haven't checked it out is it's like 3 hours, and I'm like, I don't have that much time right now.
It's long, but I suggest that when you get the time, watch it. It's probably one of the most fun movies I've seen in the last couple of years. Like, what
is the premise?
Actually, it reminded me. Remember the episode of the episode that just passed for Miss Marvel. This doesn't take place in that time period. 20 years prior, takes place in the 20s, in the 1920s in India. These two guys who were actually supposed to be real dudes back in the day. But it's like fantastical. There's two guys that are working towards a goal. I don't want to give it away if no one has seen it. Visual effects are crazy because it's Tollywood or Bollywood. Their visual effects are silly, but like they know what they're doing when it comes to their movies. the action some of the best action sequences I've seen in the last few years. They're fucking insane.
Oh, really?
And the story is it's like a romantic comedy, a buddy comedy, drama, action movie. They just throw everything together in this one movie, and it's very good. Like it's like the number one movie in America and in the world for a reason right now. Like not box office wise, but everyone is talking about this movie because it's on Netflix. But again, it's 3 hours long. So.
All right, I'll check it out.
But definitely check that out. It's really fun. It's really fun. There's one sequence. The last action sequence is fucking something out of fucking Marvel. It's crazy.
All right,
it's insane. It's a great movie though.
There you go. RRR.
Fucking Avatar.
No, that's gonna be good. It's gonna be a good movie, guys. It's gonna be great.
I'm talking about the first one. I don't know about that.
No, that one's gonna be good too.
Tell me that Avatar 2 is great before I go to the movie theater to see it. I don't even give a fuck if
again, if we don't get a screener for this, I'll never know. I will never know, yo. Like, because I simply watched that trailer and I was like, everything in my brain was screaming, "You don't care about this," and I was like, "You're right, bro."
Yeah, I saw it and I was like, But I looked at the comments in the YouTube section because I watched it once and people were like, "I can't wait." I'm like, "To see what? Like, what are you talking about?"
I can't wait to hear the story of Jake Sully. Really? Okay. All right. Look. I was not bullish on Sam Worthington either, but then I watched Unabomber and he was really great in that. So
he was
good. And then I saw Clash of the Titans and I was like, this is old Sam Worthington. Like this is the guy we knew was a box office.
Yeah, those were also the 3D movies that came out, right?
Yeah.
And those weren't the good ones. Yeah.
No, they were not. Holy shit. Next up, James Cameron might not direct Avatar 4 and 5 himself. He basically has said, like, look, he's interested in doing other things, which to me, I'm like, why are you making 5 of them? Why don't you just make 2 and just move on? Like, that would be fine by me. But yeah, he's okay to pass the reins to somebody else. That's fine. Look, I mean, maybe he'll do like Alita Battle Angel. Maybe he'll do another one of those movies. Look, spoiler alert, I thought that movie was not great. Like I think he produced it.
Robert Rodriguez directed that one.
Yeah, but he produced it. Like, that was a long gestating project that he wanted to do. And I was like,
I didn't hate it. I
didn't hate it. Didn't love it. I was like, I thought some of the action sequences were really fun, but overall, if I had never seen that movie, my life would be exactly the same as far as I'm concerned. Like, it just doing the
visual effects have an issue where they don't have weight to them, and that movie there was like nothing felt like it had any weight. Even the big dude that she fought.
Yeah, it felt like like cartoons.
Everything's everything's light. I'm like, come on, man, you got to do better.
Yeah, I've seen clips of that movie, and I was like, that's all I need. I'm good.
Oh, but I think it's on Hulu. If like you got an extra like 2 hours, I don't. Yeah, maybe it's on Tubi. Yeah. It might be on the Roku channel. You could watch it in 9-minute sprints. A Quibi breakdown if you want. Yeah, because I remember Alita Battle Angel came out, I think roughly around the same time as like Captain Marvel, and people were like, "This is the female movie that's the good one." I was like, Captain Marvel is not like great. It's very phase 1, but like this ain't good either, guys. Like it's not.
I didn't like it. I did not like that movie.
It's a phase 1 movie.
I didn't like that movie at all. I really didn't. And people were like, "Oh, you just don't like it." I'm like, "No, I didn't like that movie."
Like, no,
and I didn't like her in that role. That movie, she was fine in Endgame.
Yeah, she was she was a brute in Endgame. She's out of her fucking mind, which was awesome. Yeah, I just thought like the writing for that, like in hindsight, like that movie just is a super phase 1 film. Like it just is, and like, yo, we were in the heat of fucking phase 3. Like you just dumped this movie
before Endgame, right?
Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah.
What are we talking about? Oh, she stole a motorcycle. Thanos is right around the corner. Get back to it. So yeah, it was just unfortunate.
That's great. There's a blockbuster. Okay, don't care.
Like, that guy is crushing half the universe. I'm gonna need you to get your shit together. Like, come on, man.
He's like, catch up.
Yeah, let's like go. Now, I think Marvel's is gonna be like, they're gonna go balls to the wall, right? Like, I don't doubt that at all. So, like, I'm here for it. So yeah, he says James Cameron said he might toss this to somebody else. That's fine. Here's the thing about doing that. I don't care. I don't care.
Like, to who and for what?
Right, and it like, bro, it's not it's not you. It's the franchise. Like, it's not. You know what? It's not you, James. It's me. I don't care. Like, I just don't give a shit, dude. Like, you give it to Robert Rodriguez. You give it to who the fuck you want. I'm not seeing 5 of these movies. I'm just not.
Like, who's writing it?
I don't know.
It's like, does he have them written already? Because like, you can't just be like, yeah, I'm doing 3 more, and then like, you don't have the story written down, like an outline. How does that work?
Well, I'm gonna need a cocktail napkin description of what the fuck you had planned for this. Like, does he think this is gonna be like Star Wars? Like, I look, I'm gonna be a dick. I'm gonna be a dick about it. If Avatar 2 doesn't do $2 billion, they're not making more of these. They're not making.
That's
more
what I was thinking. Like, if you don't do what you expected, if it doesn't make what you expect it to make, I don't think he's gonna even bother. He has too big of an ego.
Yeah, I feel like I'm getting a Transformers Michael Bay vibe with like these movies now. Of just like, do we really need more of these? No, but he wants to do them. All right.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely correct. Like, if this movie makes like, it made $1 billion, I think Disney would be like, that's cool. It's going to take you 13 more years to make another one. Like, let's just fucking end it. Like, let's just end it.
Well, the previous article, he's like, I think people need to rewatch the first one so they can shut the fuck up. Like, if people are that adamant, they're like, yo, I don't remember anything from this one. What makes you think that this one is going to do the numbers that the first one did?
Yeah, I don't
know.
If
people are telling you, like, my nigga, I don't give a fuck. And you had to write something to say, y'all need to calm down. Why do you think this is going to do the numbers that you expect it to do? I don't get that.
Because I think I'm pretty sure that previous article said like September 23rd, I think it was, that they're re-releasing the first movie in theaters. Look, I'm telling you, I said this on the show before. Yo, if that re-release doesn't do big numbers, and I'm not expecting like billions of dollars, but like good couple $100 million. No, the audience is not there because they've never had an opportunity to see this movie in 3D in 13 years. This would be the time where the audience is like, finally, we got to see Avatar as it was originally planned. And those people would rush out to see it. If you don't get big numbers from that, that tells you exactly where that audience is. Because, like, again, the story is not compelling enough to only be fine with seeing it in 2D. People want to see the 3D. So if you don't have a ton of people, like, that tells you everything you need to know about how excited they are for that movie.
Like,
I can't wait to watch.
15 years old when that movie came out. You're 30 now. Right? If you went to see that in the movie theater, you're like 28 years old.
You're a wildly different person.
Yeah,
you're a wildly different person. That would be like,
you've seen 29 Marvel movies.
Right. Dude, that would be quite literally, that would be like Iron Man 1 coming out, and then Thor comes out 13 years later. You're like, who gives a fuck? Here comes the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I'm like, what the fuck have you been waiting on? Like, oh shit, Hawkeye's gonna be it. Like, ain't that nigga 35 years older than he was in the first? All right, who cares? So, like,
13 years is a while, This is not the Terminator. Like, Terminator 2 came out 7 years after the first one. First one came out in like 84. Terminator 2 came out in 92, 91.
Yeah.
Like, this is a huge
and that was a
gap,
huge improvement.
And it was a huge improvement. Yeah, that's a big point. Like I
don't know how much the visual effects improved between 2009 and now. I mean, they have, but at the same time,
he was already pushing the envelope.
Right. How much better are you going to get?
Right. If the visual effects still hold up by today's standards, and it's still amazing by today's standards, what are you going to do? Is Jake Sully going to come out of the screen and be like, go see part 3, nigga? And I'll be like, oh shit, Jake Sully, like, you're here. Like, what is he going to do that could possibly get me to go, oh, fuck, I got to see more?
Right, like Lord of the Rings came out in the mid 2000s, right?
Yeah.
And those movies had great visual effects.
Yeah,
right?
they did. And then
And
when
that
they
was
did,
before Avatar.
right. And then when they did the Hobbit movies, no one cared. No one cared. People were just like, all right. I got it. Like, yeah, nobody cared. And that's the thing. It's like, I think it's incredibly arrogant to believe that people are still there for that. I like, if that movie makes $800 million and like that's it, I'm gonna laugh my fucking ass off. I'll be like, told you, dude, the audience ain't there. And you're in a pandemic. You're still in a pandemic. Nobody comes out for shit. Nobody comes out for shit unless it is a Marvel movie. Those are the only thing people are like, I will risk my life to go see this. Like,
Well,
that's
Top
it.
Gun made like 800 million, right?
Okay, that's true. And I've seen people say, well, Top Gun, that was, like Top Gun came out and that was like so many years later. I'm like, yeah, that's Top Gun, dude. Like, that's been a cultural phenomenon for like 30 years. For 30 years. Like, no. Like, this is not, no. Like, and Top Gun didn't rely on just 3D. Like, no. They relied on showing the same 5 airplane scenes over and over again. Like, that was it. Spoiler alert, go watch it. Like, it's the same scene.
What is Avatar actually known for besides the visual effects?
Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
I'm like thinking of other movies. Like you said, Top Gun is like a cultural movie. Like, people know Top Gun. People know lines from Top Gun. People know fucking memes from Top Gun. People
Right.
know
But
when
that's
Iceman did the whole teeth thing from Top Gun. No one knows anything of note from Avatar.
That's
besides
and that's the
it
point.
looks good.
Right.
And
And
that-
that's
yeah,
the
it's
and that's the
very strong.
point. Like, Top Gun, right, you can talk about like scenes and lines and moments in that movie where you go, yeah, everybody knows that shit. If you've never seen Top Gun, you know shit about Top Gun.
Yeah.
No one who's never seen Avatar is like, oh yeah, I remember the time when the blue horse guy did the thing. Like, no one knows that shit. No one knows that shit. No one. People know shit that happened in Marvel movies who've never seen those movies. They've never seen them. They're like, oh, I heard this is the part where they do the Avengers Assemble thing. They heard it because it's so part of the zeitgeist. Nobody knows shit about what the fuck happened in that movie. Nothing. Oh, remember when the fucking giving tree died? No one remembers that if you never
Fuck,
saw
I
the
don't
movie.
even remember that.
Yeah, it was
I
like the
don't
big
remember
tree, and
that.
they fucking bombed the shit out of it. And all the blue horses got sad.
Like, you remember a lot more than we do, yo. Are you sure you
That's
haven't seen
kind
that
of a
movie once?
major part of the movie.
I don't remember. Nigga. I don't know. I've seen it once, and that
Me
was
too.
13 years ago.
They were like, don't take our tree. No. And they were just like, bomb that shit. It was awesome. I was rooting for the tree to die. In the theater. Like, I remember that. I was like, kill that tree. Like, this is awesome.
But Jay, tell us how you really feel about that movie.
I look, I gotta tell you,
remember it.
like, I gotta tell you, like, part of me, like, I really kind of hope it fails. Like, just because James Cameron's being a dick, like, I really kind of hope it fails. Like, I don't need it to fail like Morbius fail. Like, I don't need it's Morbin time type of shit. Like, I don't need that. But like, I just want it to make like $800 million so I can just get downvoted into oblivion on Reddit when I'm like, I fucking told you.
That's technically a failure. Yeah.
That's a failure.
In his eyes, it's going to be a failure.
It's a massive failure. Because look, James Cameron, when he makes movies, people go see them. And look, and it's not that I'm not a James Cameron fan. I think it, like, a lot of people wouldn't put this up in the top echelon. I think Abyss is one of the best fucking movies he's ever done. I do.
Yeah.
And that movie has something to say. Like, acting wise, not just visual effects. And the visual effects are amazing. But look, get the fuck out of here. Ed Harris carried the fuck out of that scene when his wife died. That fucking scene is amazing. And it's still amazing by any standards of anything he's ever done. But that movie was good. It was. The ending was shit, but that movie was good. Stranger Things creators, the Duffer Brothers, announced new production banner, Upside Down Pictures, which they will be doing, as we talked about earlier. They're going to be redoing, adapting Stephen King's The Talisman. They're also doing a stage play and live action spinoff of Stranger Things. Yeah, well, stage play of Stranger Things is wild. But they are doing a live action spinoff of Stranger Things. Spoiler alert, I bet there's going to be more than one of those. But there's talk that they're going to deal with Hawkins, the town that Stranger Things deals with, but also other places, like just in the world, that deal with sort of similar upside down fucking things. Okay. Like, it'll be interesting to see what they do. I'm always leery about stuff like this because I don't know that, like, the kids in the series really are the draw. So I'm wondering, are people going to stick around for more Stranger Things if 11 and, the other characters aren't there?
I'm actually kind of afraid that this is going to turn into like a Walking Dead scenario where there's The Walking Dead and then there's like 15 different spinoffs that nobody watched that it's got like progressively worse.
Yeah. Like I think that's a real possibility. I'm hoping that them doing this, they keep it tight, right? Like, yeah, The Walking Dead, like, one, I was out season 2. Like, I was out season 1. I tried again in season 2, and then I was out on season 2, and then I tried again in season 3, and I was like, I'm again out at season 3, and then I was like, well, you love yourself. Why are you doing this? So I just stopped. But yeah, I hope it doesn't go that route, because what is it? There's The Walking Dead, there's Fear the Walking Dead, and then there's like other ones that are coming.
Like I know there's supposed to be like a couple of movies featuring Andrew Lincoln.
Yeah, because this character
like
died, right?
Yeah, and then there's like Walking Dead World Beyond or something like that. And I think they've actually canceled that one.
Wow. See, I don't even know.
They're still doing spinoffs, like, as of now.
Yeah.
And then like the 13th season of The Walking Dead, or is that done?
No, that show's still on, No, that show is still on.
It's coming up on its final season, yeah.
Oh, it does it have a final season? Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Damn.
Like, I think you guys have walked enough. Just fucking knock it off. Like, I just that show started out as really promising, and then, like, because I was also reading the comics at the same time, and I was like, yeah, man, this is really good. This is really good. And then it was like, oh, okay, we're just doing the same thing over and over again. Oh, okay. Oh, is there a new Psycho at the new town? All right, that's cool. Okay, we've done this 3 times already. We can just stop. And then I was like, and then I'm done. And I just closed the book, and I was done with the series. Like, that was enough for me. Like, so I hope Stranger Things doesn't end up like that, because again, I think this is a very good show. I personally wouldn't have even done spinoffs, but I'm sure Netflix was like, here's a dump truck of money, make more of this. And they were like, okay. All right.
Yeah, some things are fine with having a finite amount of it.
Yeah, that's what makes it great. That's what makes it great.
So here are the series for The Walking Dead. There's Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead, The Walking Dead World Beyond, Tales of the Walking Dead. There's a Daryl spinoff series. There's a web series. And something called Isle of the Dead. And 3 Walking Dead films that are in development with AMC.
Wow. Here's the weird thing about that list. I'm never gonna watch anything on it.
I didn't know any of that existed.
Yeah, I don't know what Isle of the Walking Dead. Yeah, the only one I knew was Fear of the Walking Dead. I've never heard of any of those other shows. These are major productions on television. I've never heard of any of them. And this is the show we do every week.
Like, they don't think that's a little OD? A little bit, just slightly.
I feel like they look at the numbers and they're like, these idiots are still watching it. They're doing it. Like,
well, that show like ran the whole zombie genre like into the ground.
They destroyed it.
Yeah, nobody cares about it anymore.
Yeah, like to Terrence's point, like, at no point was anybody like, this feels like a bad idea. Like,
you can't keep doing this because originality, maybe something. Come on,
like,
man.
come up with something. But like, vampires have been run into the ground. Although I feel like they could make a comeback now. There's been enough time. They've been away for a while. But they ran zombies into the ground. Like, I don't know, man. Like, come up with something else. Like, please. I mean, I started watching The Strain when that started, and then apparently that just got real bad. And I was like, all right, I'm good. Also, that show was kind of creeping me out, and I was like feeling a little uncomfortable. Like, so, like, I don't need that. I'm a coward. So, like, you got it. I read that entire comic series, and I was like, I feel very uncomfortable after reading this. I'm gonna read this with the lights on. And then I started watching the show, and I was like, you know what? Fuck you. No, I don't need it. So, yeah. Hopefully, the Duffer Brothers don't fuck this up. But the person who was actually running Upside Down Pictures, let me get her name so I can be accurate here. Hillary Levitt, who previously was the executive producer on Ozark, fantastic show, and Orphan Black, through her own Hulu-based outfit Blazer, she's going to run the company. So, okay. Look, Ozark is great. Orphan Black is also great. So, and I believe Orphan Black is coming back. I believe they're doing another thing in that series. So,
yeah,
I guess they're going to run that into the ground too. Because I think there was like Orphan Black and then like Orphan Black 2 or whatever. And so maybe that's kind of her thing. She's like, let's milk this blood. Let's milk, get as much blood out of this rock as we can. All right. Look, make sure you go to manscaped.com, use the promo code Those Nerds, all one word. You get 20% off and free worldwide shipping. Look, it's good to shave your balls for the lady or man in your life, or for yourself. Use the ball deodorant so you don't smell like a fucking monster. It's a good idea. It's great. Mark, unfortunately, shared his personal story last week, which I don't want to hear again for the love of God. But use manscaped.com. Again, the promo code Those Nerds for 20% off and free worldwide shipping. All right. Let's get into What the Fuck, brought to you by JTD. Mark, you're up.
All right, so... Ooh, fuck. Okay. So the article reads, men's genitals started whistling when lung collapsed and air escaped through his scrotum. Oh, I love Terrence's face.
All right. Look, one. This is India. It's my guess. Not acceptable, but I'm sorry.
No, continue, because I still haven't guessed yet. So.
Okay, all right. The unusual ailment was due to an excess of air building up in his body, which was escaping via an open wound on his testicles. An examination found that both the elderly man's lungs had collapsed and he had a lot of air circling within his chest, which is likely to have been caused his complaint. It said medics described what happened in this publication, saying they believed it to be the first case of its kind.
I bet it was. I bet it was.
This is a definition of freak fucking accident or ailment or whatever.
God.
Let me see. There have been rare incidents of air building up in the scrotum before, but never involving whistling.
I have to tell you, all I can in my mind's eye, all I can see is Omar whistling "The Farmer in the Dell" from The Wire. That's all I see.
All
what
right.
the fuck? Like nothing indicates what place this possibly could take place.
It's only two places.
It's only two places. China.
All right. Terrence says China. Jay, where do you say?
I'm saying India.
India. Both of y'all wrong. This happened in good old US of A. It was in the American Journal of Case Reports.
Dude, see, you know what? Our healthcare system is a mess. You guys need to vote, man. You need to vote.
Elderly, he was in Florida, right? Does it even tell you? Or does it just say the United States?
Was it in Florida?
It doesn't give me it doesn't give me a state. It just says in the American Journal reports. Yeah. Not giving me an exact location, no. But I mean, women's rights are being taken away. You know, men's balls are whistling now. I mean, this fucking
again, like I feel like we really don't take healthcare seriously. Like this is a real fucking problem, dude. This is a real problem.
Jesus Christ.
His balls were
Like, how does that? What are the logistics for that? Right?
It has the X-rays in it.
If I could stop laughing for 5 seconds, I would actually make a whistling noise, which would add to the effect. But I can't because like I can't bring myself to stop smiling and laughing.
You just get a boner then.
Yeah, like that's fucking nuts. I mean, quite literally. Yeah, that's not good, man. That's not good. That's not good. Mm-mm. Does it explain how he has an open wound on his balls?
Let me see. Said the man. Oh, okay. Said the man was 72. Spent 3 days in hospital where doctors steadily released the air trapped inside his chest. They treated the collapsed lungs. Also given antibiotics. It looks like it might have been a procedure done beforehand, and that's. Let me see. In a report, doctor said the man adamantly denied injecting any air into his scrotum, which might have caused the whistling.
He did that shit.
That's what I'm saying.
He did that shit. Guilty as charged. Get out of here.
So you have a collapsed lung. How is your lung connected to your scrotum? I'm not the best as far as anatomy goes. But last time I checked, my nuts are not connected to my scrotum. I mean, I'm not connected to my I'm not connected to my lungs. So I don't know that.
Look, last time I checked, you don't have doctor in front of your name. You don't know that. Like, you have no idea.
That's right. I mean.
All right. So,
Dr. Oz is a doctor.
Dr. Oz.
So the article continues, says our patient had an open scrotal wound from a recent scrotal procedure, which allowed the air to escape from his abdominal compartment and resulted in his concerns of scrotal whistling. So maybe it was maybe something that didn't close up correctly. Yeah.
Okay. That's fucked up. I'd be suing like, my lungs are connected to my nuts, I'm suing.
What did you people do? Like, what did you people do to me?
I'm taking a risk walking, my nuts are fucking whistling. That's fucked up. Come on, you can't do that.
Whistle while you work.
If you like go for a walk, and he's a 72-year-old man, so I assume he goes for a walk around the mall with his tracksuit, and it's like you hear just like the Andy Griffith theme, like that's not acceptable. Like.
We're like, where the fuck is that noise coming from?
That's wrong. Yeah, that's fucked up.
Is that me?
Oh my god, that's fucking funny, man. Like, I don't even know what to say to that. Like, it's just wildly unacceptable. Like, he should sue people. Like everyone. Yeah, everybody can sue.
That doctor or the fucking hospital or whatever.
Yeah. You're up, Terrence. Okay. See if you can beat that.
Wow. That's fucked up. That's wife throws boiling water on sleeping husband because he was having a dream about another woman.
All right. You gotta relax. Yeah, that ain't right. That ain't right. How you know it's another woman?
Right. He was calling her name while he was asleep. A woman was recently arrested for throwing hot water on her sleeping husband's genital.
On his chest. Oh, come
on. Oh man, come on.
Of course. Fucking bastard, JTT. Because he was allegedly dreaming of another woman. The shocking incident happened last week in the city. According to the scorned wife's testimony, her 45-year-old husband was sleeping and allegedly declared his love to another woman in his sleep. Enraged, the woman went into the kitchen, brought a pot of water to a boil, and then simply threw it on his genital area for his transgression. Wow. According to police sources, the man was hospitalized with second-degree burns on his privates as well as on his arm and back. Yeah, we got to fight when I get out of the hospital.
Yeah, no, we got to fist.
Like, women or not, we got to fight. Like, for real. You
can't hit somebody with the Al Green like fucking situation, because they're dreaming. Yeah, that's not right. That's not right. Come on, don't do that to that man. Look, what you do is you get really, really cold water and you throw it on him. That'll wake your ass up. Like, immediately in the fan. And it won't injure the person. You don't put hot boiling water. Yeah, that's crazy.
It's unclear whether the victim notified the police or if his cries of pain alerted the neighbors. But according to the
entire neighborhood heard that.
Yeah, I'd be screaming. My balls.
Where did this take place?
Can you imagine that's how you get woken up? Because your first thought is like you're freaking out because you're being burned, and then like afterwards you're like, what the fuck happened? What the fuck happened? You're like, you were dreaming about somebody else. Like,
excuse me?
like I'm sorry, my dumb brain. I watched the porn before I went to sleep. I'm sorry, I didn't know. Like. That's crazy. That's crazy. You got to relax. Like she got to go to jail. Like she got to go to big girl jail for that. Like for a long time. You can't throw hot boiling water on somebody. That's nuts. Is it funny? That's funny. Like it's not acceptable. Like don't do that. Don't do that. Yeah. No thanks. No thanks. Let's see if you guys can guess. Africa. I'm going on.
I'll go with America.
Bolivia.
No, that makes sense. You know what? That makes sense. You know what?
Knife or hot water.
Right. I was gonna say I'm surprised it wasn't a knife. I mean, look.
That boiling water was a warning shot.
Yeah, like look, this is your first infraction, motherfucker. Like, relax.
Wait, Juan Jose Dener, Deputy Director of the Special Crime Fighting Force in La Paz, said that this wasn't the first time the 45-year-old man had suffered abuse from his wife. In a previous fit of rage,
run, nigga.
The woman had reportedly doused him in alcohol and tried to set him on fire. Yo, y'all got to get the boy.
She can't be that fine, yo.
Crazy.
She can't be that fine, yo. She can't be.
No, she's crazy.
Yeah, no, you gotta get it. You gotta get out of there. Look, it can't be that good. I mean, it can't be that good. Like it just can't. Like, well,
she tried to set you on fire before. Like, and nothing's that good.
Like, she tried to set you on fire. Like, how are you sleeping around this person ever? Like, I'd be like, one eye open the whole fucking time. Like, where you going? What you getting? You turn the stove on? Why you turn the stove on? You making ramen? What the fuck are you doing? Nah, sit down. No, that's crazy. That's crazy. Who the fuck stays with a woman after she tried to set you on fire? You ain't learned your lesson? Like,
apparently this dumbass.
You know what? I take it back. That's his fault. That's his fault, yo. No, that's his fault, yo. You deserve it, yo. You deserve it.
I mean, it kind of is. Like,
you know what? Let her go. Yeah. You know what? Let her go. She's innocent. No, she doing. Look, that's in her nature. She doing what that like. That's getting mad at a lion for mauling a person. Like that's not her fault. He's too stupid to get the fuck out of the way. Like that's his fault. You know what? Let her go. Nah, fuck that. Like, I'm doing a 180 on this entire story. She is perfectly fine in what she's doing. Let her burn up some other dude. If you ain't smart enough to leave, that's on you. Stupid. My story is interesting. So a man goes by the name I Am Flesh God on TikTok, apparently. He is a bouncer / influencer who eats raw chicken and washes it down with breast milk and vaginal discharge. Yeah. But claims that it's healthier and more sensual. Those are his words, not mine. His videos documenting his raw food diet is going viral because people will quite literally believe anything. He says, I like the raw feeling. It's refreshing when it goes down. You're eating flesh like an animal is supposed to do. So it's more sensual and more sensual experience. His diet includes 12 to 30 raw eggs. His diet includes 12 to 30 raw egg yolks for breakfast, raw meat for lunch, and more raw egg yolks for dinner.
A lot. Eggs ain't cheap nowadays, right?
No, and he also, again, has breast milk and vaginal discharge as beverages.
And does he get it from the tap? Both. Because that's fucking gross.
Well, one of them is like weird, and the other is fucking really gross. Some of his favorites are. All right, yo. This is like a fucking Dave Chappelle skit, yo. The following line is a Dave Chappelle skit.
Like, if this nigga say Cambodian breast milk, I'm turning this shit the fuck out.
Stay with me. Some of his favorites are also Ethiopian and Japanese cuisine that specialize in uncooked food. I thought it was going to say Ethiopian breast milk. I was going to be like, like good night. Give me good night. Like good night. Like that's that's parroting like too much. He says, quote, raw pork is a little bland, so I eat that once in a while. The best I've had is raw goat because it's super tender. He considers it more alpha and aggressive, and again, very sensual. Where is this person?
About eating raw pork. England.
Diarrhea, I guess. Where is this young man from?
Shit.
That's the thing.
I want to say Africa, but
That's racist.
I'll go with Africa.
That's racist. Well, we got to eat raw meat. It's fucked up. Terrence?
That's in England.
England? That's pretty good. Good old US of A. Chicago-based influencer. Yeah, so another thing he says, quote, I was thinking about dogs eating raw meat and getting more aggressive. I started eating raw beef once or twice a week to see if I felt more positive from it. It made a lot of sense, so I thought I should eat it. I should eat everything raw. I used to think you couldn't eat raw chicken. You shouldn't. But I got my information from a lot of sources, idiots. I did deep research. No, you didn't. I was with a lady that was producing milk, and I tasted it, and I thought it was kind of sweet and delicious and yummy. And the idea hit me. I leave raw milk out and ferment it into yogurt. Fuck. I sucked it out, and I thought I'd add it to my milk, and it turned out fantastic. All right. Listen. I think this.
You need to go to prison.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
I don't like any of this.
Look. I've been very bullish on things that have come out of Chicago in the last week after watching The Bear. Now this is put you back to zero. Like Chicago, you guys are fucking up. Like somebody needs to talk to this dude. He is a mental case. But I'm not surprised, and the reason why I'm not surprised is because there is another person who is very popular on social media. His name is the Liver King. And this is a guy who eats raw liver, and he's like a big workout guy. And he's like super shredded. He's on steroids, which is why he looks like that. But he says it's from eating raw liver. But people who believe him are, what's the word? Fucking stupid. Yeah. So all of these guys are now like, I eat raw meat, and that's why I'm an alpha. And dude, why don't you just eat cooked food because it's more bioavailable and not eat a woman's vaginal discharge like a fucking monster? Like, what is wrong with you? So yeah, they're just getting more and more extreme. Look, to quote Craig Robinson from Zack and Miri Make a Porno, white people are fucked up. Like, what else do you want me to say? I don't have anything else. Yeah, this is the guy.
He's got white man's dreads too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Of course he does. He's the flesh god. Shout out to him. This is the worst Craven cosplay I've ever seen.
He's eating this for health reason, but he does not look healthy at all.
He does not. No. Like I'm not okay with this. Like I am not. Like nah. I think it's eating. I think it's eating raw meat that turns me off, but I think it's washing it down with vaginal discharge that really kind of seals the deal with for me of like I'm good.
Yeah, that makes me sick to my stomach.
Yeah, I think that's
the word discharge is disgusting.
Right.
Like it just is. I hate that word.
Yeah, because the body is getting rid of it.
Yeah.
Like when you get discharged from a hospital, they want you to leave and not come back.
He's like not in the best shape. I'm looking at pictures of this dude. Like he don't look like he just looks like he's a big guy.
Yeah.
Like naturally big. He doesn't look like he works out.
Nah.
He's an MMA fighter.
Is he? All right.
Yeah. What?
Nah. This guy's gross. And he should be locked into a fucking prison, as far as I'm concerned, so that no one can hear his ranting and raving. Like we really fucked up by giving people social media. Like we really did. We really did. We really do.
Also,
please don't believe the Liver King. Like that guy's a fucking liar too. All right, trailers this week. Honk for Jesus. This is the first trailer out, which looks really fucking interesting. This is a Monkey Paw Studios film. So it's Jordan Peele's production company, which is pretty cool because I think this is their first one they're doing that he's not directing, which is great because he's not following the Tyler Perry thing of like, I'm the only person who can do stuff for my company. He's expanding. And this looks really great. It's with Sterling K. Brown and Regina Hall as they are like a minister and his wife, the first lady, if you've ever gone to a black church. And I guess it's under scandal and he's like trying to get back on top. And he's like, some sort of fucking like evangelical or, some sort of like bullshit artist preacher. I think this looks great. Film directed.
No, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. Monkey Paw Productions done. They did Candyman.
Oh, right. That's right. You're right.
And Lovecraft Country.
Oh, really? I didn't realize Lovecraft Country was under them. Oh, okay, cool. Right. All right. Well, there you go. And look, I mean, this doesn't have a horror element to it, but it's just like some black shit, which I appreciate. And he's Jordan Peele is executive producing this, and Daniel Kaluuya is also producing this. That's awesome. Look, Sterling K. Brown is a real fucking talent, right? And so is Regina Hall. But specifically, Sterling K. Brown somehow is really, really, really good at drama and like trying to make you cry, but also really funny. Like he can do comedy pretty goddamn well. And Regina Hall obviously is great at doing comedy. And serious stuff. I mean, I didn't like The Master. Like I just didn't think it was a good movie.
Neither did I.
That was not good. I was not a fan. But I think she's good in it. Like, you know what I mean? It's just I just didn't think the story was very good.
She was good in that show, that Hulu show. 9 Perfect Strangers. What was it? With the one with her and
I know what you. Yeah, 9. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, because Michael watched it. So okay, like. But I think this looks fun. Like it looks, and it's a Peacock movie or whatever. So I'm here for it. Like that looks kind of fun. But I'm super glad that like they're not doing the like Tyler Perry thing of like I never fucking let anybody else do anything. So
have you seen his palace? Did you see Tyler Perry's house?
Does he have a new one?
Yes, I think it's not finished.
Oh, God.
But like it's insane.
Yeah, I don't understand. I don't understand having a house with like 50 rooms. Like, why? There's one of you. Like, you don't have to have a tiny house. I get it. You're rich, but like, what do you need a compound for? Like, why?
Yeah, it's literally. It's Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah, I'm seeing pictures of it. This thing is ginormous.
Yeah.
Well, he had that big ass house in Atlanta when he did his first movie. He had all that, like all that play money, right? Like from
I think it's the same one.
No, this is another level. Well, this is he got a runway.
He has a all right.
Yeah.
You're Tom Cruise. You're flying off somewhere. Where you going?
It looks like it's $100 million mega mansion. Not even just mansion, mega mansion.
$100 million. I mean, look, like good on him, man. Like that guy came from like quite literally homelessness and made it all the way up. That's pretty great. But like $100 million house for what? Like, was a $50 million house not good enough? Like, you know what I mean? Like, was $1 million house or like a $2 million house should be good for everyone. How many people are living there? But all right, bro. Next up, Clerks 3. Okay. Like, look, man, I think Clerks is a solid franchise. Surprisingly, Clerks 2 like really worked. Terrence, you were saying before the show you've never seen Clerks.
I've never seen any of them. Yeah.
That's wild to me. Mark, of course you've seen these. Come on, man.
Yeah, I look like a person who has watched these movies.
Yes, you
repeatedly.
Repeatedly, you're like, this is in my wheelhouse. No, Clerks is really good, man. Like you should, Terrence. I think you would like part 1 even more than part 2 because it's like very low budget. Like that was his first movie. Like they really did that shit. Like kind of skeleton crew kind of thing. It's in black and white. It's funny and it's like it's got some great dialogue and like great perspectives and stuff like that. It's actually a very good movie. Which obviously launched Kevin Smith's career.
Now this came out in 1994, so does it hold up? Like this is me in 2022 at 40 years old.
I mean, I think there are parts. I mean, I think you would think some of it is a little like ridiculous. But I think you would like. I think you would overall. I think you would like it. Yeah, you should watch the first Clerks. The second one I think is very funny. They feel like 2 very different movies to me. But I still like the second one as well. But this one I think looks it feels like the second movie, which I'm okay with, and it's kind of meta, and you're like making a movie, even though these are like. He's like Randall is like very famous. Like Randall, you would probably like because he's a dick. Like, but Randall works in a movie store, and like that's his whole thing is he really really knows movies. So yeah, like he's making his own movie in this one. So yeah, I dig it. What do you think, Mark?
I actually got a bit emotional while watching Clerks 3 because Clerks 1 it was Kevin Smith saying something about your 20s, and then Clerks 2 was saying something about your 30s. Yeah. I've heard him say that like this one is more about being in your 40s, and this one is like super meta as fuck. Like even like one of the characters is just coming back from having a heart attack, and it's like I got to make a movie about my life, which is like okay, that's what Kevin Smith is known for doing.
Right. Yeah. I there's something to really admire about this series, right? Like it's somehow, even though Kevin Smith is a huge name and, has gone on to do things that are far bigger than this, like this is clearly his love. Like you kind of like, especially if you've seen the other 2 movies, you can just see it in how he shoots it, right? And how he shoots his friends and stuff like that. And he put, like he's still playing Silent Bob, and he's still, there with Jason Mewes, who he put on, and Jason Mewes became like a thing in and of itself, and like his like stupid catchphrases that don't really make sense and they're silly and everything else. But it's his best friend, like, and he quite literally saved him from a drug addiction, right? And he's like they're still doing this shit, right? So it's kind of cool. It like if you know the history of these guys, like I feel like that makes it that much like richer of a story, right? Like An Evening with Kevin Smith is like a really like watch Clerks 1, then watch An Evening with Kevin Smith where he kind of talks about like all of that shit, and then go back and watch Clerks 2, and then watch Clerks 3. Like that's all a part of like what it is for him to like truly make it. So yeah, I think this looks great. So like, all right, like I'm in. And also Rosario Dawson, I hope she's also in this one, because she was great in the second movie. Like she was really
good. Absolutely.
All right, what is the next movie as I try to buy time so I can pull it up?
Amsterdam.
All right, so Amsterdam is David O. Russell's upcoming film, not with Jennifer Lawrence, I'm shocked to say. Okay, like this looks interesting. Like the premise is 3 friends, Christian Bale, John David Washington, and Margot Robbie. They're basically like con artists, and like they met in the war. I guess like it looks like maybe World War I or something. And or maybe 2, I guess, I don't know. But they're basically con artists, and like this feels like very David O. Russell. And like I can't help but be actually pretty interested just because I guess it's World War I actually. Because I think the cast looks really good. But I'm not a huge David O. Russell fan, to be honest.
Yeah, the Amsterdam. It looks like American Hustle, but like you actually like the characters. Like they are actually decent individuals. But yeah, everybody and their mamas in this movie. Like the cast is like huge of who shows up in this thing. Especially like, did you guys recognize Timothy Oliphant in the movie?
No,
he plays like one of the goons. He's completely unrecognizable in this.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, look, I mean, look, David O. Russell is able to get really good actors to be in their movie, to be in his movies. Look, I got to tell you, the one person who makes me really want to see this, besides the principal cast, Michael Shannon, because Michael Shannon isn't bad in anything. Like
that is true.
Yeah, like
45-year-old Michael Shannon.
Yo, that's the wildest thing. That dude is quite literally my wife's age, and he looks 10 years older than her. It's crazy. But that dude, he doesn't miss. Like, he just doesn't miss. And he is the one actor where I'm like, I kind of want to see this. Like, he's just that good. Terrence, what did you think of this?
It looks fine. I'm not a big David O. Russell fan. It looks like something I might watch on television.
Okay, that's fair. Do you think? Sorry, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Michael Shannon is 47, but still, like, the fuck.
Yeah,
like,
it's
like
crazy. Yeah, he
what
does. Look, I mean, I think it looks very interesting. It's got Rami Malek in it, like Anya Taylor Johnson in it. Like, I just like, yeah, I think it looks really good. It's a really good cast. It's a really, really good cast. So I'm hoping for something interesting. But we'll see.
Myers is in this too.
What's that?
Mike Myers is in there too.
Yeah, just like randomly. Yep. Just like fucking totally. I was like, yeah, right. I'm like, okay, like we're just putting everybody in it. Just putting everybody.
Taylor Swift shows up for some reason.
Okay. Like, this is fucking just completely random.
Sure.
Yeah. And last but certainly not least, a movie I've been looking forward to. I believe the title is Kill Whitey. But I think they renamed it to The Woman King. This starring Viola Davis. Yeah, which I think is fucking whack.
I feel like they should have kept the original.
Yeah, I feel like they really missed a calling here.
The working title is probably White Genocide.
Yeah, like Fox News is gonna be upset. Good. I can't wait to see this movie in theaters 47 times. This is my avatar too. God damn it. I think this looks great. I think Viola Davis looks fucking awesome. Like, she's gonna crush this role, dude. She's gonna crush this role.
Absolutely.
I mean, it couldn't be worse than her weird impression of Michelle Obama. Good God.
I haven't seen that, but I've seen clips.
I've seen clips, and I was like, this is enough for me.
I don't know what the fuck you doing, but you are better than this.
Yeah, I was like, I told you, like I said on the show, I was like, I blame white people for that. Like, no, like Viola Davis would never act like that. How dare you? But yeah, so this is based on true events, true-ish events, I think. Basically, about a tribe of Africans who their warriors are all women, and they're fucking badasses. And they basically are taking on the British, who are trying to enslave them during the slave trade. Look, I got to tell you, the trailer is cut incredibly well, and it definitely gives you those vibes of like, oh, this is the story of the real Dora Milaje from Black Panther. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, like okay, like, and I'm here for that. Like, I mean, even how it's cut in the beginning of the trailer, where it's like with the voiceover, like, oh, an enemy is coming, but they, we have a weapon they don't expect, and then it's just like all these badass black women show up. I was like, okay, like, I'm here for this. Where do I buy my ticket right now? Like, yeah, this looks awesome. And to think that Viola Davis quite literally got in shape for this movie right after Ma Rainey's Black Bottom.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, like, that's wild, dude. Like, that's wild. Because she gained a lot of weight. She did wear like a fat suit, but like she quite literally like put on a bunch of weight to play Ma Rainey, and then was like, "Nah, I'm about to get fucking jacked and shredded to kill European men."
The fucking muscle.
Yeah. Okay,
That's
man.
dope.
Yeah.
I'm looking at this trailer and I noticed that the comments are turned off. I wonder why.
Really?
Yeah, that's a.
Yeah.
There's already people
something
saying
strange
this
about
movie's too woke. You know, it's kind of like a Black Panther knockoff. I'm like,
Wait, people
It's a
saying
black-
a movie about black folks protecting their land and it's too woke.
It is a Black Panther ripoff. How is it a Black?
What?
This is a real story. All right.
That's the thing. It's like read a fucking book or get some history into you. And yeah,
Again, like the internet is right there. You're watching the trailer on the internet. Like you could like just type the shit in.
Yeah, just Google it.
Okay,
Just Google it.
you got it.
So,
yeah.
it's interesting. I am getting a vibe because I don't fully know the story, like the actual true story of this, but I am getting the vibe that John Boyega's character is going to be a character that you hate by the end of this movie. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like he's like a reluctant king, and they're going to be like, "All right, we fought," and he's like, "Nah, we're just going to do the slave trade. Like, don't worry about it." Like because like I know a little bit of the history, and I feel like he gonna Robert the Bruce this shit to William Wallace, and you're gonna hate this guy, and then you're like, I'm not a fan. You're gonna be like, oh, I fucked up, and it's gonna be like, it's too late. But yeah, I think this looks great. I think Viola Davis is gonna absolutely crush this role. Like I think this is gonna be one for her.
Yeah, all the trailers that we've looked at, like this is the one I'm like I saw the trailer for this, I was like, yes, I need this. Inject this shit into my veins right now.
Oh yeah, look! Spoiler alert: we're doing this on Black Cinema, 100%. I told Tiara, I was like, you're not allowed to be on this episode. Like you're not. Just out of spite. I don't want to hear you screaming, "Kill all men" the whole time. Like no. Nah, but this looks really good. This looks really good, man. I hope it lives up to this trailer because I think this is it's a damn well cut trailer. Like they make black women look like the badasses that they absolutely are in this story. So I appreciate that. So it's good to see it. And I like the idea of like people loving like seeing a Dora Milaje kick ass and then like, yo, this is a real ass story. Like these women were for real. Like this is where that kind of shit is inspired from. So I think that's super dope. So we shall see whether or not The Woman King is worth a shot. And that comes out in September, I believe. September 13th or 16th. All right. That is it for us this week. Mark, hit him with the spiel one more time before we get out of here.
Yeah. So, I host a podcast called the Real Appeal Podcast. You folks should definitely check out our upcoming episode where we're going to review Thor, Love and Thunder and take a look back at 1987's Masters of the Universe, and just get into some bullshit with that.
Well, you know what? Good night, everybody. Okay. When's the last time you saw that movie?
2 years ago, and I was drunk. So
okay, that's fair.
Yeah, and I plan to do the same thing.
Yeah, no, that is fair. Shout out to Harry Knowles. Apropos of nothing. Apropos of nothing.
That poor fella. I listened to that podcast about that dude.
Yeah.
The Download podcast?
Yeah, so have I. Don't poor fella nothing.
Yeah.
No.
Did you ever release that?
Oh, that clip?
Yeah, when I found out that he got like a bunch of books fell on that nigga.
I think I did.
Passed out from laughing.
Yeah. Yeah, I believe I did. That shit was hilarious. I will link folks to that where I literally cut it out of an episode. I was like, this is too mean. This is too mean. We are laughing at something that's too mean. But in hindsight, you know what? It wasn't mean enough. It actually wasn't mean enough.
Yeah.
No,
it's perfect time to release that clip now.
Yeah, that guy was a real dick. Like he really was.
Fascinating story though. Like it's a wild fucking story.
Yeah, that's a good podcast, by the way. That like it's not the best produced, but it's like a really interesting story. And But yeah, I did dig it. All right, that is, by the way, that's called Download: The Rise and Fall of Ain't It Cool News. Like, so yeah, if you want to, like, incidentally, we're going to talk about something in that, because I want to talk about film criticism next week on the show. Mike and I saw Thor: Love and Thunder yesterday. I have some things to say about the state of film criticism, and it is it is not positive. So we will see you guys next week. Terrence, welcome back. Mark, thank you for jumping in, man. That was great.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me on the show again.
Of course. All right, we will see you guys next time.
Take it
See ya.